Vegeta has, I think, either a really smart idea or like a really dumb one, where he's like, Krillin, just blast me to near death, and then Dende can heal me so that all my power will increase, and then I can finally become a Super Saiyan. That's a great idea, right?
I mean, this is where like Saiyans are broken, because like that's like 100% true.
Yes. Alright, hello everybody, excited to be here. In this video, we're going to have a discussion about one of the most important Dragon Ball Z sagas ever. That's right, we're talking about the Frieza Saga. First, we'll go in depth about what exactly happened in those iconic run of episodes. Then we'll talk about what made it so important and iconic for the series. And then finally, we'll talk about how this story arc was not only important for Dragon Ball Z, but for anime overall. Why is this one of the best arcs in Dragon Ball Z? Well, that's what we're going to discuss. So I brought in my co-host and good friend, Jake. Jake, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to talk about this.
Jake, as a fun warm-up, if you could be one race in the Dragon Ball franchise, what would it be? You have 3 seconds. Oh, say just right off the bat, you're just saying Saiyan.
Piece of cake.
Okay, I thought I would flush you a little bit right off the bat, but I guess that didn't happen. You're gonna be a Saiyan. Well, okay, so let's just get down into it. Jake, do you like the Frieza Saga?
Oh, I love the Frieza Saga.
Is it your favorite?
It's tied with the Cell Saga for me.
But do you agree that the Frieza Saga is the most important Dragon Ball saga?
Oh, absolutely. I'm a firm believer that the Frieza Saga is the peak for Dragon Ball Z. Like, not to say, like I said, the Cell Saga is one of my favorites, but I feel like the Frieza Saga is like the most memorable part.
Just so much important stuff happens in it, right? And it just gets you excited in a way that I think other sagas didn't. And that's why I'm excited to talk about it. All right, so let's just get right into it. The Frieza Saga is episodes 75 to 107 of Dragon Ball Z. And what's exactly happening here? So Namek is in serious trouble, and this specific Frieza Saga kicks off with Grand Elder Guru sending Dende to give Krillin and Gohan the password that will summon Purunga, the Namekian dragon. And where's Goku? He's like, what's he doing, Jake? He's like resting? He's on like vacation or something?
He's being a great dad, just not being around for Gohan. Like, he's doing that regular stuff.
Regular exactly.
Goku stuff.
Classic Goku stuff. That's right. I forgot. So while Goku's off having a good time, gamble in Las Vegas or something like that, so our heroes who are on Namek are stealing the Dragon Balls away from a sleeping Vegeta, and then they use the password to summon the dragon. Vegeta wakes up, sensing Frieza's approaching power level, and finds the dragon already summoned. That sucks. You have all these Dragon Balls, then you go to sleep, and you wake up and to find that they're like already in use. I would be super mad about that. Would you?
Oh, absolutely. Especially because he kind of like goes out of character and teams up with these guys only to have them betray him.
Exactly. It's like, way to go, everybody. It's like, I try to do one good thing and I'm already stabbed in the back. Being a good guy sucks. But now Frieza's here in all his just whiny, awesome, terrifying glory, and Vegeta and Frieza fight, leading to Frieza transforming into his second form, and Vegeta's like, I immediately regret this decision. I was ready for this battle, but now I'm not entirely sure. But that's such in Vegeta's character, right?
Yeah.
So Frieza starts monologuing, I guess like villains are prone to do, and he tells Vegeta about the destruction of planet Vegeta and his father. Yeah, then it's just like this kind of like total beatdown where Frieza is just totally destroying them. Piccolo shows up for a second, fused with Nail, because it would increase his strength, and it looks like they have the upper hand on Frieza for a second, but then through the bombardment of attacks, Frieza transforms into his third form, which totally wrecks everybody, and then once they finally get a handle on that, he transforms eventually again to his fourth and final and strongest form. Jake, quick question. What is your favorite Frieza form?
My favorite Frieza form is the final Frieza form. But growing up, I was a big fan of the third form because it looked like Alien. Like it looked like the Xenomorph from Alien.
And you know what's kind of fun about that? I like the third one too, just because of the design. But it's actually the reason that form didn't stick around for like as long as like other ones is because the creator just didn't want to draw it because that was way too complicated. And it got really hard to do, so he's like, okay, he's gonna upgrade. He's gonna.
That's funny because you mention it because like there's no reason for him to transform into his fourth form. He just does it. So. It's
just God telling him to like, oh, I gotta change because the creator's hands like it is so hard to draw aliens. I thought it would be cool. Can't do it anymore. Yeah, so then after he's in his like fourth and final and strongest form, Vegeta has, I think, either a really smart idea or like a really dumb one where he's like, Krillin, just blasts me to near death. And then Dende can heal me so that all my power will increase, and then I can finally become a Super Saiyan. That's a great idea, right?
I mean, this is where like Saiyans are broken, because like that's like 100% true.
Yes. You have to beat me down to the very inch of my life so that I can become stronger. And then, just you wait.
Oh, that's why they always win the rematch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but after this, Frieza's like, this Dende guy is just like healing everyone. So I really need to handle this guy in particular. And then he kills Dende. That's it. No more healing. Then it's like a really, really dangerous territory with their main healer gone. But even with all of his new strength, Vegeta, I think, is still not a match for Frieza, and Frieza beats Vegeta to like the point of death. Oh no, and I think at this point we're feeling kind of like, we're rooting for Vegeta here.
Yeah, he makes Vegeta cry. It's like really sad.
You never think that you would care for Vegeta so much, then you learn more about his backstory a little bit, and you're like, oh, actually, I care. You made me care now. But then, of course, no one could really destroy Frieza except for the one and only Goku, because he finally comes back from his, vacation or whatever, and he like arrives and is all like, what did I miss? And I think in a really powerful moment about like with Vegeta is that he tells Frieza that Goku is the legendary Super Saiyan that will kill him, which I think is it's super important for it's super, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just nice that Vegeta would do that for Goku, right? To like admit that Goku is so powerful.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like growth, because like at this point, Vegeta is positive he's the Super Saiyan. And then like he sees Goku and he like senses Goku's strength and he's like, oh wait, no, this guy is. And like it shows real growth that he's willing to pass on that like dream and like ideal to Goku.
Yeah, and how does Frieza respond to all this growth? He's like, nope, Vegeta, you gotta die.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm done with you.
Lasers him in the chest.
Yeah, he's like, how dare you grow, death beam. And I love this death beam because like he gets like hit with the death beam, but it's like doesn't really kill him. It just like gets him really weak, and then Vegeta has the time to like tell Goku like the whole truth about Planet Vegeta and how Frieza took Vegeta from his father when he was a child, threatened to kill him unless he followed orders, yada yada yada. Goku needs to take vengeance for all Saiyans and beat Frieza. And then it's just like, and I think Frieza has like a really funny line. Just like, oh wow, it's like I killed him, but yet he's still talking.
Well, I mean, as we learn later, Frieza's attacks apparently aren't great at destroying things initially. Yeah. So then Vegeta dies, but I think this conversation is really interesting because it's foreshadowing the challenge that Goku's going to make, because like Vegeta's like, Goku, kill this guy, and Goku's like, I don't think I want to do that, yet. I don't think I can do that. What do you think of this dynamic right now? Well, I mean, it's two different kinds of warriors coming to an impasse, where Vegeta's Vegeta growing up is trained to kill his opponent, whereas Goku is trained into thinking fighting is a sport. Like he always looks forward to fighting like stronger opponents and learning from them. He doesn't really go out of his way to kill, except for like the Red Ribbon Army stuff in Dragon Ball and Mercenary Tao. Goku kills a lot by accident.
Accident, it's an accident. But it's also important just because he's not accepting of his Saiyan heritage yet. He's like, he doesn't like want a part of that at this moment. So when Vegeta's telling him, go avenge the Saiyans, he's like, I don't really want to do that.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not really a Saiyan per se.
I'm not really with you guys. Yeah, so then that's it. Then it's the final showdown, like Goku versus Frieza, and it's a really quick battle, right, Jake?
Oh yeah, some say it was too short.
Yeah, I wish it was longer, but that's the joke. It's so funny. It's 18 episodes. This is an 18 episode battle, and it's just crazy. But on the flip side of that, it's probably the most iconic fight in Dragon Ball Z, if not the whole Dragon Ball franchise. I think when you point to like Dragon Ball fights, like the super long Goku versus Frieza is important and iconic for just so many different reasons, because it's just like this epic back and forth. And
it has build up. It's crazy. Like it's Goku by himself and then Goku teaming up with Piccolo, and then it keeps going, and it has all these cool moments that kind of get like lost in itself.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of little moments, but I think the one that everybody talks about, obviously, and the one that's most iconic is Goku going Super Saiyan for the first time. He sees his buddy Krillin die for real this time in a really horrible way. Like oh, poor Krillin.
Yeah, he like gets thrown in the air and explodes.
Yeah, not one of the ways that I'd want to go. But it's like once he sees it, because Krillin's gone, right? Because I mean, at this stage, right, they would think that Krillin is gone forever, right?
Yeah, at this point in the Dragon Ball canon, you can only be resurrected by the Dragon Balls once. And so Krillin had already been resurrected in Dragon Ball, and so with him dying, he can't come back. Like, Goku's best friend is gone, and like that's like the catalyst for the Super Saiyan transformation.
Yeah, but then and that sucks because it's like, oh, poor Krillin. But on the plus side, we get Super Saiyan Goku for the first time, which is awesome. So I feel a little conflicted there.
Yeah, no, I'd trade 100 Krillins for a Super Saiyan Goku transformation that we got.
Honestly, I'd trade 100 Krillins for like a lot of things, to be honest with you.
Free ice cream?
Yeah, free ice cream for sure. I'm sorry, Krillin. I like ice cream way too much. So then, yeah, the fight which really just amps up Super Saiyan Goku versus Frieza. And then I think this is like, even though this is the most iconic fight, it also has one of the most, I think, ridiculous moments that's like made fun of the most in Dragon Ball. But I think that's what's so endearing about that is like Frieza says, the planet is going to explode in 5 minutes. And then it takes like 3 hours. Just ridiculous.
So Dragon Ball Z Abridged like makes a joke about that where like Frieza keeps updating the time. He's like, wow, look at this planet. I give it about, I don't know, 2 minutes. It's already been like 8 minutes.
Yeah. I love all the explanations. Like you find people you can defend like, the planet's time works differently. They're like 5 minutes actually means like 3 hours. Or they're moving so fast and having conversations so fast that it's like milliseconds. So it's like it actually is 5 minutes. And it's just like, nah, none of that is true.
That one's my favorite one because there are literally other conversations happening at the same time. So it makes no sense.
It's 8 seconds for every huge attack, and it's like Dungeons and Dragons rules. So then it leads to like the final confrontation, because in the end Goku is able to dodge like Frieza's laser discs, and Frieza pulls like a Green Goblin type scenario, and it like cuts Frieza in half, and he's like, oh no, my own laser discs, which seems super sharp and super deadly. And then so Goku has this chance. He's like, I could kill you right now, Frieza, but I'm going to show mercy, because that's what Goku does. He shows mercy. And he gives Frieza a chance. And what does Frieza do? Does he turn his life around and move to Montana and open a bed and breakfast somewhere, have a couple of kids?
He becomes a farmer.
Yeah, becomes a farmer. Nope. He tries to betray Goku immediately and blast him, and then Goku has to send a final blast, looking like it ends Frieza forever. Of course, we know that's not true, but it looks like at that time, it's like, yeah, Frieza's done. Goku's left on the planet and is, kind of apparently killed when it finally explodes. But as we learn later, that's not the case, as he just doesn't really want to come back, but will when he's ready, and I think that's very interesting. But that's basically the Frieza Saga in a nutshell. I'm trying to remember if the transformations that happened in later seasons hit me as hard as what happened as his first transformation. Did you feel any sort of excitement, as much excitement in the new transformations as you did for his very first Super Saiyan transformation?
When it comes to that, I'd say the only other transformation that made me feel something like as strong as the initial Super Saiyan transformation was Gohan's Super Saiyan 2 transformation. Mm-hmm. And that one was a little different. Like, whereas in for the Super Saiyan transformation, we have like that one arc of buildup. Gohan's Super Saiyan 2 transformation was like the entirety of Dragon Ball Z at this moment. Like, even the English dub announcer like says like the rage building inside him since he was a child like manifests, and you're like, oh, what? Like, oh my god, that's like, because Gohan's always been special, and so this is where like that transformation hit. But I guess that's also what makes the Super Saiyan transformation so cool, is that it had half the amount of buildup to the Super Super Saiyan 2 transformation, and it was just as good.
You know, that the creator of Dragon Ball like kept wanting to end it, but it like kept getting more popular, so it's like he kept having to keep going. So like every saga he wanted to end it at, and it's like, no, keep going, so he had to keep making more. But it's like he really wanted to end it after the Frieza Saga, and if it did end there, it would make sense. That's like a complete character change, a character arc completion from Goku. Besides Goku, I think all the side characters too are like really strong in the Frieza Saga. At least for me, it's like as more sagas like went on and stuff, it's felt like, you know, more and more of the side characters got pushed to the side. But I felt like the Frieza Saga, while it did have its issues, it's like, you know, it gave Krillin, it gave Gohan like really important moments, and like Piccolo like really vital moments to the plot because Goku wasn't there for most of it.
Honestly, I feel it's very true, is that like we got these interesting moments for these characters because Goku got written out of the story for a bit.
It's like we're forced to focus on these other characters because Goku's gone. But and I think that's ultimately a good thing, because overall, who I think it helped most is Vegeta. I think Vegeta has an incredibly strong story in the Frieza Saga. Like really, he's not quite the good guy yet, but like it lays the seeds of him becoming the anti-hero that, like, you know, he becomes. I think that all starts with his character development in the Frieza Saga.
Oh, absolutely. Like yeah, he's in the Saiyan Saga, but like at the point in the Saiyan Saga, he's just this evil bad guy. And but then like we get reintroduced to him again in the whole Namek Saga, and he becomes so much more interesting. And then it hits his peak in the Frieza Saga, where he, like, you learn the backstory of the Saiyans, you learn Vegeta's angst and all of like the reason why he's the way he is, and like his goals, and you're like, wow, like this guy would be an amazing protagonist, and like that's why he sticks around for the rest of the series. He's like you just want to watch Vegeta sometimes.
And he's such a good contrast, especially to Goku, to like the actual main protagonist of the show, like with their ideals and how they approach things and problems. It's like you can tell that they're similar in senses, but have completely different ideals at times. And just they're both strong characters on their own, but like when you put them together, especially in the saga, as you see their different ways of thinking like go against each other, it's so cool to watch, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
One thing about this, if you go online to the interwebs or whatever, and if you look at why the Frieza Saga is so revered, a lot of people point to that it's the theme of adventure. That was like the whole sense of that is something that's like missing in kind of other sagas so much. But do you agree with that the Frieza Saga has just that spirit of what any Dragon Ball saga could reach, more so than other sagas?
Well, I mean, absolutely. Like you got to go back to the original Dragon Ball series, and like the whole series is them looking for the Dragon Balls, and like it gets this sense of adventure, like people are saying, and that's out the window in the Saiyan Saga, because at this point they're so used to collecting the Dragon Balls that it's like ridiculous. Like they collect all of them, I think, off screen the first time in Dragon Ball Z, and you're like, what? And so in the Namek Saga, they're going around there, they're exploring a new land, it's a legitimate journey to collect all of these Dragon Balls, because the bad guys have some, or they're trying to find them, and they have to cross all around the planet, and it has this reminiscent like theme of the original Dragon Ball series.
I totally agree with that. I kind of want to, after talk about Vegeta, as who was a villain turned into more of an anti-hero, let's talk about the full-on villain, Frieza. Frieza, at least to me, Frieza, to be honest with you, Frieza terrified me as a kid. I don't know why. Like, he just did. I don't know if it was like his voice or he was just like his style, but Frieza was frightening. And I can't tell you why. It just hit me just real deep in the subconscious. I'm just like, Frieza's very scary. I hope the good guys beat him very soon.
Oh man, he stuck around so long. He just haunted your dreams.
Yeah, he did. That's why, like, 18-episode battle, I'm like, Goku, please. And it's kind of funny what we learn about, like, Frieza. We don't learn about it now, but don't we learn about it in Dragon Ball Super, right? About his training thing?
Yeah, in Dragon Ball Super, we find out that Frieza has never trained a day in his life.
Yeah,
and
I don't hit the gym.
He's just born powerful.
I'm just naturally like this, you know? And that's pretty scary because there comes a point where it's just like it doesn't look like he can be stopped. But then what's interesting for him is that like once Goku starts beating him, it was so satisfying to see just him unravel, you know, like just like his confidence start to shatter and break, and he turned into like more of this like Weasley desperate villain who just wants to overcome it, and he lost a lot of his scariness. But I think that's very effective for a villain. He's one of my favorites. Is he up there for you?
Yeah, I'm always a big fan of the like cocky, like I'm better than you kind of villain, and so that's exactly how Frieza is all the way up until Goku turns Super Saiyan, and then that's when he just is broken and he's primal and he's no longer sitting there like monologuing. Now he's like, I'm gonna beat you to a pulp because you've pissed me off.
And he's like, oh. I was like, okay, I'm wrong. And that's what's so great, because I think even at the end, it's like when Goku offers him like that mercy, he's basically telling him, it's like, yes, I am more powerful than you, accept that. You know, it's like learn and defeat, and maybe you can come back stronger before and cause a bunch of damage. And like Frieza's like, nope, can't accept that. I'm gonna try one last attack, and it costs him. I think that's really interesting for a villain.
Yeah.
So overall, this is an awesome saga, but what do you think this saga specifically did for the franchise overall? Because I think it's very monumental, but I'm wondering what you think are the long-lasting ramifications of what this saga did.
It launched the franchise into like almost a legendary status. It's constantly referred to, like Dragon Ball Z is kind of referred to as the grandfather of shonen anime, right. And it sets this standard. Yes, transformations existed beforehand in anime, but like other anime started including transformations like as commonplace, and it's because of this saga. Frieza is so memorable that they constantly bring him back. The next saga, in fact, starts with a resurrected Frieza, and Frieza comes back in movies, comes back in GT, comes back in Super. Frieza is this iconic villain and is almost like always associated when people think of Dragon Ball Z. And
that's so great that it's such like one moment in an anime we can all collectively share as like a this is a moment, right? Like this is the moment that where Dragon Ball Z really became the show, right? That's like where people look back and be like, what is the most important moment in Dragon Ball Z? It's like Goku turning Super Saiyan. It's like hands down the end, the winner.
Yeah, no way. Like there's no contest. It's the most iconic moment in I'm gonna say Dragon Ball as a franchise.
Absolutely. And I think you could also make the case it's probably one of the most iconic moments in anime, I think ever. And my big question is, because obviously the Frieza fight is iconic, not because of its awesomeness, but because it lasted 18 episodes. Well, technically it lasted 19 episodes, but I like to think of it as 18 episodes because the 19th episode is kind of like the aftermath of what happened after the fight. So really fighting for 18 episodes. Do you think that that an anime could get away with an 18 episode fight today? I don't think that'd be acceptable. I don't think people could really invest in that.
Absolutely not. That's why Dragon Ball Z Kai exists, and it basically shortens everything from Dragon Ball Z, and like that's because people couldn't digest an 18 episode fight anymore.
It's just like, remember Dragon Ball Z? 18 episodes? It's just, to me, that like signifies it as just like a super important cultural milestone in anime. It's like, you will never see that again. And for that to have happened, and for us to like all know about it and adore it, is amazing. I figure if we show kids nowadays, though, they might get a little tired of it. We could just keep going and obviously put in a bunch of like filler episodes here and just nice. Like, just go back and forth for a bit. But I think we should take the high road, and we should probably we should end it here. Do you have any other thoughts about like kind of what the Frieza Saga did overall?
No, I pretty much have. I'm pretty much said my piece.
Me too. So, Jake, thank you so much for talking Dragon Ball, with me. It's always a blast. And thank you all very much for listening. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. This has been, the CBR Saga podcast. And let us know in the comments what other topics you want us to talk about. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So thank you all very much. Jake, thank you very much. And we'll see you next time.